This is Paula, and she's my wife. She's a lovely Latvian girl. She started to speak quite a little bit late, at age of 2, but ever since, she hasn't stopped.
This is Luca and he's my husband. He's from Italy and I call him my tall Italian guy. He's the nicest person who will do anything for his friends and family, especially if you'll offer him a jar of Nutella. We wanted to start our video not from somewhere in the middle, somewhere at the end or in between our story. We wanted to start from the very beginning.
We want to tell you a story of how we met and actually a little bit before how we ended up in Valencia until now, how we arrived where we are right now. How I ended up in Valencia. That could be a long story, but long story short, I was in Canada, exactly in Quebec City, and it was March and it was minus 37 degrees, so quite cold. I got a phone call from Rome, from my university, and they offered me a new research project. And I asked where that is gonna be. They told me Valencia. I have to admit that I knew that Valencia was in Spain, but I didn't know exactly which part of Spain. And my first general question was not how much you're gonna pay me or for how long I have to be there. My very first question was how many degrees are right now there. I checked quickly on Google. I saw there was 26 degrees. I was currently in minus 37, so I say yes, I'm going. So basically what I did, I just packed everything and I flew direct. I didn't even pass from home. I flew direct from Montreal to Rome. I spent, I guess, there one day or a couple of days in Rome just to fill a couple of documents, and from Rome I flew directly to Valencia. And that's how I ended up in Valencia. I'm not gonna say how much I like Valencia, but I'm just gonna say that it's supposed to be just 1 month of research project, and it ended up to be 3 years living there. So I moved there and I arrived there right in March. And March, for those who know Valencia, March and Valencia, it means just one thing. It means fires. So imagine that I arrived in a city on full-on party environment, on a full-on just celebration environment. And what I can say that I'm supposed to go there for work, but I did everything but work for that month.
Gianluca's story of getting to Valencia might have started earlier. He did arrive there 2 months before me. But the story of making a decision to go to Valencia, I am before him because everything started for me in February. I was working in London. Actually, I was doing my dream job. I was working in fashion industry, which is what I studied for, which is what I was hoping for. And I was working in quite a small company, organizing fashion events, working with designers, and it was a really exciting job. The only problem was that fashion jobs in the beginning, especially if you work in a smaller company, they don't pay that well. I was getting minimum wage, and because it was London, I stayed with a family member, my cousin, outside of London, rent-free. Thank you, my cousin. But that meant I had to travel 2.5 hours one way each day for work. So, comes February, I've been working at this job for quite a few months, and me and my friend were on a phone call complaining, like people do, complaining about lives, complaining about what's not going well. And I'd realized that morning that in a month, I spent 100 hours just in travel, going from home to work and from work to home. And I was getting minimum wage. And I realized I can't do that anymore. My friend wasn't happy with her current situation, and we both were craving adventure and craving sun, because I was living in London, so it wasn't the sunniest, the most warmest location. So in February, she said, what if we move to Spain for a little bit, just for a month, for 2 months, how long we can? What if we went to Spain? And I said, you know what? Yes. So I started saving up money. She started saving up her money. And in May, we both ended up going to Valencia. My friend had been there already before for studies, so she knew the city. She said it's really fun, it's really beautiful. and she had some contacts to help get us an apartment because it was a short stay. So we had to, kind of rent something like an Airbnb, but not really. So she ended up taking care of that. She rented 2 rooms in a student apartment, but because it was end of study year, it was easier to rent it. So yeah, there I was, beginning of May. I had quit my job because I really didn't know how long I was going to go to Valencia for. A month, 2 months, a little bit longer. Arriving in the city with my friend and ready to just relax and enjoy the sun. It was May and Valencia and I was enjoying my time. Little did I know I would meet an Italian soon.
So as I said, I was in Valencia in March during fires. So the last thing that I did was working on what actually I was supposed to work on. So matter of fact, I had to go back to Valencia. After a month, I went back in Italy. I did all of my other stuff. I take care about all the other job, but I still had pending a job in Valencia. So I had to go back there. So I started to do this on and off. The good thing was that I always meet different people because I had to rent a different house because I got there for a couple of months, then I go back, so I couldn't have a fixed place to stay. A bad thing was that all the time, doing all the time the same thing, looking for an apartment, looking for a flat, looking for a flatmate, and that was super stressful. Until arrived the point that I was desperately need an apartment, and I start to call basically, I guess 3/4 of the announced that they were there for a room that was renting. At one point I found one announced that it say room for rent, with no picture, with no information, with no address, with basically nothing else than room for rent. Then I was that desperate that I decided to call. I called the guy, I just asked, is still available? He told me, yes, there is a room available. Then I say, I take it. I don't care. I don't wanna even discuss about the price, the information. I need it, so I'm taking it. And that turned out that arrived at that apartment that night, and to open the door was a beautiful, very beautiful girl, which was not Paula, but was another girl. And meanwhile I was getting in, I discovered that in that house, in that apartment, were living 4 beautiful girls. One of them was extremely beautiful, and I still remember that speaking with a friend, I say, she's the beautifulest person that I ever met in my life, and she was Paula, and that's how I met Paula.
So I'm in Valencia renting a 2 bedrooms with my friend in a 4-bedroom apartment. In a room next to my room was a girl from England, really fun girl. We had loads of fun going out with her, spending some time, and overall we're enjoying our time in Valencia. But I said it was a 4-bedroom apartment, right? And 3 bedrooms are taken, 2 by me and my friend and another girl from England. Well, in the 4th bedroom, for a moment our landlord was staying there, and he kept telling us, oh, in a week there's going to be a doctor coming. We were like, a doctor? He's renting a room in a student apartment. He was like, yeah, he's a doctor, and he's gonna come a little bit later, but he should be nice, hopefully you'll like him. So the thing to know about me and my friend, she's really lucky with stuff and I'm really unlucky. And we were making a joke that if it's going to be on her luck, it's going to be a very handsome, young, I don't know, we thought like a medical doctor, resident or something in a hospital. And if it's going to be my luck, it's going to be, like 40, 50-year-old man, really boring. We're not going to be able to, be loud in the apartment or anything. Well, when the date arrived, walked in Luca. He wasn't 40 or 50, and he wasn't a medical doctor. The thing with the doctor, he was studying to get his PhD, but in architecture. So the landlord between Spanish and Italian and English got confused, and he understood doctor from the letters PhD. But yeah, walked in Luca, and we looked at my friend and we said, okay, she was lucky, so it's probably for her. But it ended up that Luca arrived. Well, I don't like to say it that way, but I kind of do like to say it that way. He arrived in the apartment just for me. So this handsome doctor has arrived at our apartment. The next few weeks that I had left in Valencia were spent with my friend and Luca, getting to know him, exploring the city, exploring towns around Valencia, and then I finished my money. Of course I finished my money. I was on holiday, I was enjoying it, and I hadn't saved up that much. So I had to go back to England to make more money to move to Valencia, because I realized that life is one, and the life I've had in Valencia was so nice. I really enjoyed people, I really enjoyed the atmosphere and everything. So I decided I'm moving to Valencia. Plus Gianluca was talking about moving to Valencia, so I definitely had to move to Valencia. So I went back to England for the rest of the summer and tried to save up some money and make as much money as I quickly could. So I picked up a bar job and I worked as many shifts as I possibly could. In the meantime, me and Luca kept talking, and one day he surprised me with an email. Tickets to Rome. He got me tickets to Rome because he knew I was saving money. So he took me on our first mini trip, a mini holiday, which was amazing. It was the perfect little holiday, and it was so nice for me as I was working as much as I could. So it was really enjoyable, and I really liked that we had some plans, but we didn't really have plans, and it was one of the best trips I've had. Gianluca showed me all around Rome, outside of Rome, and I fell in love with him completely during this trip.
So back and forth to Valencia. I was working as an architect, so I had to go back in Italy every other week, more or less. So I was taking a lot of plane that period. I was working a lot, so in between Spain and Italy, Italy, Spain, Spain and Italy. One point, summer arrived, and I decided to take a little holiday out of all this crazy busy life. And with Paola together, we decided to go on our very first holiday. The first city that we visited together was Rome. And that was magical because it was our first trip together, and above all, it was a city where I used to live. So it's not just a touristic place where to go. So I knew a little secret place just for local, where actually people go to enjoy, not just for touristic. We spent a couple of days in the very city center, and then a couple of days in a kind of resort spa outside the city. So that was a little bit more intimate outside the city with a swimming pool. It was basically our little bubble that we create there during our first holiday together, and it was lovely.
After Rome, I went back again to England, made some more money, and then I moved to Valencia. I moved to Valencia around September, so at the very end of the summer, and got a job there and started living full-time in Valencia.
So Paola moved to Valencia, and I was still in Italy, and that was a little bit painful because I love that city, and I love everything was built around that city, not just the city itself, but all the people there. And I also create a little family, my old flatmate, basically all awesome people. So I say to myself, okay, life is not just work, work and work. Okay, the career, okay, getting a good job, but it's also something else. And that something else, I found it in Valencia. So I took my luggage and I decided to definitely move to Valencia. So we definitely moved to Valencia. We are now settled down there. We are doing our daily working life. But of course, we also decide to enjoy it after work life. We had a kind of routine every week because we both love to attend a jazz section. We found this very little cute bar where they do live section of jazz every Monday. So for us was a fixed appointment. And then we used to go out a lot with friends. We still have one friend, but he used to own a bar very close to where we used to live. So it was kind of meeting point for all of us, just to meet there and have a beer and enjoy basically our daily after work life.
Our time in Valencia, And our time during this period was really nice. We, as Gianluca said, we were enjoying our time after work. And on weekends, we would go on small trips to close cities, right?
Yeah.
We tried to explore as much as we could around. We didn't have a car, but we would rent a car or go with buses to explore the cities close. We also traveled around Europe. We went to Paris, which has always been my dream to return there. We showed each other our homes, our places where we grew up. I got to see Sicily. Gianluca got to see Latvia. And during this time, we discovered not only that we loved each other, but that we loved travel, we loved making new experiences, enjoying new food. Gianluca started liking Thai food, something.
And to explore more about culture and way to live, about everything else was not just my, let's call, comfort zone. Just go out and accept new way to think, new way to live, new way to eat, new way to basically live.
Yeah, we definitely discovered our love for that together during this time, and we were really enjoying our days and our life and our holidays, and we couldn't wait to do more.
We are living together for a while now in Valencia. We are experiencing quite a good time together, and I want to tell you just a little story. One night we went on a party on a friend's house. It was a birthday, I believe, and it was a lot of people, very crowded, loud music, and I was not enjoying the best because I'm not that kind of person. And at one point she came next to me and she asked, "What about if we leave the party, we go home, we put a pizza on, we just lay down on the sofa and we watch a movie?" That moment I say, okay, she's the one. So I decide to take her on top of Etna during the sunset. I wait the moment that the sun was setting on the sea, and I ask her if she wanted to spend the rest of her life with me. Of course she say yes. She didn't have any other chance because otherwise I would leave her on top of the Etna. So she was smart. She say yes at the moment. And as every time big news never come along, at that period I received a job offer from an academy in Marbella. And for me it was kind of hard but easy decision because I didn't want to leave Valencia, but I was very open to new experience, to see new place, to meet new people, to have new networking. So without Paola, at the very beginning I decided to move it to Marbella. Why without Paola? Because it was a new experience. I didn't know what I was going to. So we thought both that it was not the smartest thing just to both quit our job in Valencia and move both to Malaga or Marbella, because we didn't know how that would end up. So we agreed that I was going alone for 6 months, for a little period of time, see how it's going here, and then maybe if everything was as we imagined, as we were hoping, she would move it. So the deal was, I'm moving to Malaga, you keep to stay in Valencia, which he doesn't know, it's almost 700 kilometers, but every single weekend we had to meet each other. Back then Paula didn't have a driving license, so guess who had to drive all the weekend from Malaga to Valencia? Friday afternoon after work, driving for 7 hours, arrived to Valencia at midnight or 1 o'clock, and on Sunday morning, straight after breakfast, drive back from Valencia to Malaga. And that happened for 6 months for every weekend. If I think about it now, I think that was crazy thing to do. But if I think that I was doing that because the wish to see her, to stay with her, was too strong. So if I think it was not even a little bit hard basically to drive 14 hours per weekend back and forward from Malaga to Valencia just to spend basically one day together. So that was it. We spent these 6 months. I spent all of my weekend on the road, and she's still living in Valencia.
We were enjoying Valencia life. I had just gotten engaged to the man of my dreams, and he takes a job in Marbella. Well, in Malaga area. He takes a job 7 hours away from me. But we did decide together that it would be smarter if he went there and saw how it went, instead of me also quitting my job, because I didn't have a job in Malaga area where he was moving to. So that's what we did. For a few months, Gianluca was living in Marbella, a beautiful coastal city close to Malaga, and I was still in Valencia. After we realized that his job was very good and it was his dream job that he wanted to do, I had to make the decision to move there as well. It wasn't a difficult decision because Luca was doing his dream job, something he's been working for like 20 years of his life. And I got to support my man. I still got to be next to the man I'm about to be married to. So of course I needed to move there. The period of moving there wasn't the easiest. I had to leave my job that I was enjoying in Valencia. I tried to give them as much notice as I possibly could, and then I moved. I moved to Marbella at the end of February, and how that went, you'll see. I arrived finally in Marbella and moved in with Gianluca in a little cute apartment that he found at the end of February 2020. We were still fully up for exploring our surroundings. We spent the first 2 weeks of living in Marbella together, going hiking after Luca's work. I was looking for a job myself, and we went to see Malaga and close cities around us. And then our wish and our joy for exploring and spending most of our free time stopped when the whole world stopped. COVID-19 pandemic hit Spain and we were put in a lockdown. In a full-on lockdown. We weren't allowed to leave the house and we weren't allowed to do anything other than go to the grocery store or the pharmacy if you needed, which thank God we never did. So, locked inside our apartment, of course we got used to sitting on a sofa and watching movies, and that was our life. We weren't allowed to do anything else. We had to postpone our wedding as well because Air Baltic, the airline that Luca's family was planning on using to go to Latvia where the wedding was, from Italy, announced that they're going to cancel all the flights from Italy to Latvia for the whole summer. Since our wedding was planned in summer 2020, we had to postpone that. There's no way we're gonna get married without Luca's family, right? And friends, the following 2 years were really spent at home. We did manage to get married last summer, and it truly was the most beautiful day of our lives. It's true what they say, and our wedding, despite all the circumstances that we had, despite everything that we went through, it was the most beautiful day of our lives. And then we went on our honeymoon. During the time before the wedding, we had completely lost our drive to go and explore because Spain kept being put on lockdowns and restrictions of travel in between your city or your county or your region. But then we got married and we wanted to go on our honeymoon. We had to adjust our honeymoon plans as well because more COVID restrictions were in place in last summer. So we ended up going to Greece and Amsterdam, to Creta in Greece more specifically, and Amsterdam in Netherlands. Our honeymoon, with all the circumstances, me and Luca agreed was the perfect trip. And what it did, other than let us relax, it reminded us how much we love to travel, how much we love the joy of exploring, and how much we love to spend our free time making new memories, seeing new places and cultures. So we came back from our honeymoon, once again, very determined to enjoy our free time. I got pregnant very quickly after returning from honeymoon, and we continued to go out of the house after work. I had managed to find a job by this time, of course. I worked in the fashion department in the same university as Luca, and we started exploring our surroundings again. But then morning sickness came, pregnancy symptoms, we both got COVID, and we both returned back to our comfortable sofa and movie bubble that we had built during the 2 years of the pandemic. And once again, we didn't do much with our free time. We would finish work very early actually, come home, get on the sofa, and that was it for the evening. On the weekends, we never made any plans and spent most of the time on the sofa watching movies and not doing much. So we made the decision. We're going to create a YouTube channel because we realized you don't need to be a full-time traveler or YouTuber to actually enjoy your life, to enjoy the free time after work. And we wanted to make more memories and share them with our friends and family, and hopefully inspire others to understand that you can go out in the weekends for short trips and see surroundings around you. You can go to your close city center after work and just have a wander around the city, or go do a new activity or experience you've never done before. Make memories. Enjoy the time that your life has given. See the beautiful world around us. And we're hoping that we're going to inspire others to make most of their time after work and see the world. See the beauty that we have just outside our doorstep.